We are so excited to continue to do these virtual events. We always have so much fun, and we have a great lineup of wines today. We kind of sat down and thought, what are the fan favorites? What have always been, people's go-tos? And we came to our Giulia white wine, which we'll talk about. We have our Barbera as well, and our Sagrantino. So some of my favorites and hopefully some of yours, and we'll kind of dig deep into all three of these and talk about, the vineyards, the winemaking, a little bit of everything. And so for those of you who don't know, I am Megan Klein. I'm part of the second generation at Jacuzzi Family Vineyards. I do a little bit of everything from working in the vineyard to winemaking to hospitality. I do a lot of the marketing and photography and just kind of a Jill of all trades, if you will, just whatever needs to be done. That's kind of the beauty of family business. And it's great. I love working with my family. And right now we are also here with Jesse, who is our wine club manager. A lot of you will probably recognize at least his voice, if not Jesse from our last tasting last month. So Jesse, if you could introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your background. Wait, I muted you. Sorry.
I'm unmuted. Hey guys, my name is Jesse. I'm the wine club manager for Jacuzzi. I've been working in wine basically since I moved to California almost 15 years ago. It's a passion of mine. I really like doing wine club because, I get to do the office, computer stuff, email back and forth with all of you. But then on the weekend, I still get to go out and chat with everybody and talk wine out on the plaza. And so I'm looking forward to doing this virtual tasting. We picked some of the favorites. I know the Barbera, since I started working at Jacuzzi, I feel like that's probably one of the biggest, most popular wines of everybody's is the Barbera.
Absolutely. I know. I'm so excited. Great. And all right, guys, sorry. Tom, our winemaker, is going to be joining us. He just sent me a text and said, can you send me a Zoom link? I can't find it. So he will be here in 1 second. So sorry about that. But while I send him the invite, why don't you guys drop in the chat where you're joining us from and tell us where you're coming from. And I will send him that invite. Okay.
So I definitely recognize some names here. Allison Payne. Oh, Mariah Arnett. That's my sister all the way from Tennessee. And Craig. Connie Watson. Hi, how are you? Good to see you. Rob. Looks like you're staying out of trouble. Oh, and Lane Blair. It's fun to put faces to names for sure.
San Francisco, Ohio, Sassoon City, nice. New Jersey, nice. Jersey Shore. Okay, we got a couple from New Jersey. I love it. I've never been to New Jersey. How about you, Jesse?
Yeah, I've been there one time actually. The one and only time I've ever been to the East Coast. I spent time in New Jersey and Pennsylvania and New York.
Awesome. All right, well, okay, I guess we can take care also of some housekeeping tips. If you guys have any questions throughout the event, like make sure to just drop them in the chat. I'll keep an eye out on the chat the entire time. We'll answer all of your questions kind of as we go through each wine. And with that, I think we have our one and only Tom Gendel, who has joined us.
Thanks. Sorry, guys.
No worries. Tom is our winemaker at Jacuzzi, and he will tell you a little bit about his background and, his journey through wine. If you could, Tom, take it away.
Sure, yeah. I'm Tom. I'm from New Zealand. I got into wine back when I was 17, decided I wanted to become a winemaker, and went straight from high school to university and got a winemaking degree and a Bachelor of Viticulture and Oenology in New Zealand. Worked a few harvests in New Zealand and also in Germany, and ended up falling in love with a California girl while I was in New Zealand, and she dragged me over here, or well, I always wanted to come. Well, it sounded like a good idea at the time to come to California, and we moved over here in 2011 and got married shortly after. I worked in Napa Valley and also in Sonoma Valley at a few wineries, moving my way up. And I started at Klein in 2016 as the assistant winemaker. And then I got promoted to take over the Jacuzzi portfolio in 2019, and had a lot of fun with that. We started the Gust label as well in 2017. And now, yeah, and that's pretty much my journey. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I've worked in both vineyards and winery, and worked with some really great winemakers and wine growers as well. And kind of a good emphasis on kind of starting with the vineyards. If you've got great fruit, makes the life in the winery a lot easier. So, working with winemakers who spent more time in the vineyard than the winery was awesome, and that sort of a thing. So yeah, it's
Thanks, Tom. Yeah, and I think just to add to that, because you really do work in the vineyard first. Jacuzzi is so fun because we kind of source from all over. Whereas Klein, we really grow a lot of our own fruit. Jacuzzi, we really focus on these unique kind of small lot Italian varieties that are grown all throughout the North Coast. So we kind of seek out these unique varieties, which has been really fun both for me and I think for Tom too, and Jesse, just kind of learning about these obscure varieties that you don't see that often. So with that, I think we can jump right into the good stuff, and we'll start with the very first wine that we're going to be tasting today, which is our Giulia's white wine. And I'm going to share a little slide that talks a little bit about what this white wine is, what are the grapes that are going into it, the grape, I guess I should say, and talk a little bit about where and Tom can go a little bit more in depth with this Bianchetta Trevigiana, which, Italian varieties there are so many. I think there's over, 5,000 plus different Italian varieties. And we are lucky to work with this one right here in our backyard in Los Carneros. What I love about this wine is that it's so expressive. I mean, it's a really beautiful, beautiful white wine. I get a ton of like white peach on this. The acidity is delicious. It's like the perfect wine for us today in Sonoma because it's about 80 degrees outside. So it's just a really, really refreshing wine with a bunch of melon. And Tom, I would love to, have you talk a little bit about your process in making this wine, and then, kind of our journey in figuring out what the heck this variety was and our history with the Giulia's white wine.
Yes, so we've been making, I don't know when we started making the Giulia's white wine, but we used to think it was Vernaccia. And so that was always interesting. And so Vernaccia is, it tastes kind of, this wine tastes like a Vernaccia. Bianchetta and Triviana Vernaccia are fairly similar. But what we sat down and we kind of pulled it apart and talked about the pros and cons. So it's growing in Los Carneros. It's growing about 2-minute drive down the road on the same side of the road as Jacuzzi. For those of you who have been around Sonoma, it's literally, you've got Jacuzzi on the eastern side of the highway, and then to the south of that, you've got Vianza, and then to the south of that, there's a vineyard, and that's where the Bianchetta is grown. And it's a great little grower, Sue Smith, who's fantastic. It's really easy to check the grapes down there. She sells it to a few people and makes it a single bottling. In 2019, we kind of, we're looking through our portfolio. I'm thinking kind of, this wine's got wonderful melon characteristics, as Megan was saying. It's got those stone fruit characters, and it's also got this really nice nuttiness to it as well. Kind of wanted to differentiate it, so we kind of leaned in towards those secondary characteristics. And so with this wine, we pick it around about 23, 24. That's all it really gets to. Kind of starts to shrivel a little bit and starts getting a little bit of raisining action going on. So we want to pick it before it gets too sweet. We bring it in, we whole cluster press it at Jacuzzi, and then we put it into a stainless steel tank for settling for about 24 hours. After 24 hours, we rack it off, and we let it start a natural fermentation in the tank. So we just want it to just begin fermentation. And as soon as the fermentation kicks off naturally for around, we put it to barrel for barrel fermentation. Barrel fermentation helps to give it roundness, the texture, all the nice richness, kind of leaning into that almond characteristic and those stone fruit characteristics, kind of making it a little bit kind of more like a Chardonnay in style, but without any new oak and also without the malolactic fermentation. So you're still keeping all that wonderful fruit character, but you're kind of getting more of that nuttiness, that creaminess, that richness and roundness that we're going for. It's still got nice acidity as well. Balanced acidity is what we call it. And yeah, last year, as we were talking to Sue about the grapes and stuff, she was super surprised. She was like, hey, we just got our grapevines DNA tested, which is a thing you can do. You send it off to the universities, you send off cuttings and clips and whatnot, and they DNA test it. And she said, yeah, it turns out it's Biancetta treviana. And the reason we called it Gilia's, or twofold reason, we call it Gilia's to pay homage to part of the Jacuzzi family. And then secondly, because Vinacha wasn't actually a recognized grape variety in California. So you couldn't actually call a wine Vinacha because it wasn't a recognized grape variety. Biancetta Treviani is a recognized grape variety. So I think moving forward with the 2021 vintage, we're going to start putting that on the label, aren't we, Megan?
Yeah, I think so. I think anything we can do to like call out this uniqueness, you know, I don't think I know any other winery that makes this variety. So it's totally a point of pride for me. I think it's really, really cool. And I did a little bit of digging into the history, and it's mostly grown actually in the Veneto region. And it is allowed in a lot of Italian winemaking as an addition, like a blending grape, because it has really great acidity. And I think that totally translates into the wine that we make. It really brings over that great brightness, which I always look for in a white wine. And I think even the growing region really reflects that. Our kind of motto at Jacuzzi is the spirit, wind, and water, and a lot of that has to do with the history with the family, with the jacuzzi pumps, and they worked a lot with propellers. But it's cool because it really translates into winemaking as well. And especially wind in the Carneros growing region, it comes through in the afternoon. It elongates the growing season, so you have that full flavor development, like Tom was saying, but that is really apparent in this wine. And it's just such a unique, different wine, you know, different than a lot of white wines that I've had. But Jesse, I would love to hear your thoughts.
Well, I really like this wine because it has like the, you know, the nuttiness, the almond, like Tom said. And then the creaminess kind of makes me think of something like a Chardonnay, but then you have that bright acidity. And that's what really makes it a great wine, is that bright acidity, makes it really good for a wine that you can just drink out on the patio when it's 80 degrees out, like today. Tom, are you hot right now?
I'm in the shade, but it's nice. It's really comfortable.
But this is a great wine for being out in the heat. But also it goes well with food.
Yeah, what would you pair with this, Jesse? What are you thinking?
Well, I mean, I kind of have to go like kind of automatic and just say I think this would be a perfect wine with a cheese plate.
Oh, hell yeah. Yes, I'm down with that. What do you think, Tom? What do you say?
I think carbonara pasta, that creaminess.
Oh.
Yeah, I think that'd be really awesome. Maybe some bacon in there as well. Yeah.
Okay, I love, and that's so like on theme with the Italian lifestyle. I like it. I was gonna say, well, yeah, let's see. I was gonna say like some sort of seafood. Maybe it's like a creamy seafood pasta. I don't know.
Like a piccata, or something like that, or cod piccata. Who is it? The girl in the fig has that awesome flounder with that's crumbed, and they've got like that vinegar and butter sauce with capers. That would be awesome.
Tom, you're making me hungry now.
Sounds great. Oh, would love to hear what you guys think. Drop it in the chat. Have you guys liked this wine previously? What do you guys get out of the nose? What would you pair this wine with? I would love to hear what you guys think. And while you ponder that, we can pour our second wine and jump over to what I really do think has been a fan favorite throughout the years, and something that we've made, I think, since the inception of Jacuzzi, which is our Barbera. There we go. Our Barbera. This is our 2018 that we're going to be trying. Definitely one of my favorite wines. one of my go-to wines as well. I think it's one, a really expressive variety. Two, it is super versatile when it comes to food, and it's always delicious. I think it really has been something that we have perfected over the years too. It's really a great wine. So Tom, and I know we've changed where we've sourced our Barbera a couple years, and would love to hear your take on it and talk a little bit about the winemaking.
Yeah, so this Barbera is from Mendocino. It was in 2016 that we did a little switchy, and we went to Amador County, and we just kind of weren't happy with the ripeness and kind of the richness and the roundness we got out of that wine. And so we switched back to Mendocino County, this great grower up there we work with. It is, oh, he's great. He's got a bunch of acres. We get things like, he's also got Sangiovese up there. He's got a lot of Italian varietals, but he sticks to the cab growing up there. Fantastic grapes. He's great to work with because he likes hanging the fruit. And so all of Italian wines have a really high natural acidity. And so you've got to kind of hang them a long time for that acidity to aspirate out. So basically it's retained in the grapes, and over at nighttime, warm nights will help you lose acidity. Mendocino is actually pretty cold up there at nighttime, so it takes a long time for that acidity to naturally aspirate out. So during the day, what's happening is the leaves are accumulating sunlight and turning that sunlight into sugar inside of the grapes. At night, they're perspiring water, so you get a little bit of dehydration, but also they're changing, they're metabolizing the acids into other things at nighttime. So cold nights will slow that metabolism down. Warm nights will increase that metabolism up. And all of it, because it's so hot in Italy, those Italian grapes naturally retain a lot of acidity because of the way that they have to grow. And so up in Mendocino, it takes a wee while. This is one of our later picks. We're picking it in October. Pick it normally on the riper side, 24, 25, up to 26 bricks, generally until the TA gets below 7, so the titratable acidity. Then we bring it in. We've closed top fermenters. We pump it over, get really good extraction. We kind of want to push through the extraction barrier and get all the tannins out of it, and then start making them richer and rounder and more palatable. And after that, it spends about 15 months in oak. It gets French oak. Really nice kind of medium plus toast sort of characteristics, gives you some of those little hints of chocolate, more vanilla as well, and kind of that mocha characteristic as well that we're looking for in there. And bottle it after 15 months. And it's just when you've got great grapes and they're hung out there for a long time and low disease pressure, it's really fantastic. So as you can see, the Potter Valley there in that map that Megan just shared, Potter Valley is really far inland. So what happens with that is you get hot days and you get cold nights. And so hot days, you get lots of ripeness out of your fruit flavors, but you also retain all that acidity. So it takes a long time for that to aspirate out, as I was saying. So as the closer you get to the coast, you get colder days, and but I mean, it also, the ocean is a calming influence as well on the nighttime temperatures. So the closer you get to the ocean, the less diurnal shift you have. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good. And, the more that I sip it, I get a little bit more of this like spiciness. There's a lot of layers. I just really think it's a super complex wine. Jesse, what do you think?
Well, I really like the creaminess that it has right now. I feel like now that it's been aged for a bit, you get a little bit more of that vanilla oaky ness to it that I really like. I feel like the tannins are right there in line. It's not too tannic, but it's still got a little bit of a bite that I like in my red wines.
Yeah. Tom, what would you say? Have we bottled the 2019 yet? And what would you say the difference is between the 18 and the 19 in terms of like vintage variation and which one you like?
These, I haven't tried them side by side for a while. Literally it was last year when we tried them. I don't think we've bottled, I'm just checking actually right now. We haven't bottled the 19 yet.
Yeah.
The 19's due to be bottled soon. I know we're getting low on this 18. Yeah, we've got, we're getting pretty low on the Barbera is one of our best selling grapes. It's always delicious. It's got that nice big fruit forward characteristic, that nice spice and that kind of extra secondary layers you get from the oak, but it's always really fruit forward. And we're looking for that richness and roundness. As Jesse was saying on the palate, we want to kind of make those tannins soft and rich and round and supple. This wine's still got plenty of acidity and it's still got plenty of tannin, so it's going to age really, really well. but also matches really well with food too. I think, I mean, this wine would go great with like hearty Italian red pastas or even lasagna. Things like that is kind of what I imagine, with that acidity from those tomatoes, those tomato-based sauces, really highlighting some of those kind of nice plum fruits you get in this wine. And
Yeah.
I think this would be really, yeah, it's a really great match.
This is definitely my spaghetti wine for sure.
Spaghetti, yes. Or pizza. I mean, pizza
Oh, yeah.
for sure.
You
Like
love- Pizza's great. Pizza goes with everything.
I know
Yeah.
it really does, but yeah, I guess you could come up with a pizza for each of these wines. Like the Giulia's white wine, I would say like maybe just like a classic margarita or like a white sauce pizza. Yes, getting hungry. And then
We should, when everything opens up again, we should do a pizza pairing party.
There we
love
go.
it.
Because we got the
love
pizzas, we got the pizza oven in the back as well. We get that thing fired up.
Yeah. Oh,
Yes.
that's true. I think absolutely we're gonna have to start this. Yeah, great.
I actually asked a wine club member when I first started working at Jacuzzi one day what they pair the Barbera with, and they said they usually pair it with another bottle of Barbera.
Ooh, I love it.
Like, that's
Okay,
good idea.
my kind of people.
Yeah.
Oh my God, great. Yeah, no, I think really excellent job, Tom. And honestly, the more I just opened this before the tasting, but I'm actually getting a lot of pepper out of this wine, which is interesting. I don't think that's like a normal tasting note for Barbera, isn't it?
I probably didn't answer the question probably about 18 versus 19. 18 was a much colder vintage. So you are going to get those. Pepper isn't necessarily an underripe character, but it kind of means you're only just getting to the edge of ripeness. And so with 18 being such a cold vintage, we got to hang it out for a longer time where you get more flavor development. So you get some of those extra secondary characteristics. But I also really like the fruit on it. 18 was a little more of a typical vintage. You're probably not going to get quite the complexity of the spice, but you're going to get a bigger, richer, rounder wine. So it depends on kind of what you like. If you like the complexity in the wine, you're going to like the 18 more. If you like a smoother, richer, bigger wine, you're going to like the 19 more. So it's kind of, just depends on what your taste is.
Yeah. Nice. Thank you. And then really not to back up, but the 2020 Giulia versus the 2019, because this is our brand new release, is the 2020. So do you mind, like, quickly, again, not to back up, but talking about the difference between those two vintages and those two wines?
Well, so it's pretty much, so when, like I talked about, we came up with a winemaking plan in 2019. 2019, we weren't as good at executing it as we were in 2020. So it's just getting better at doing things and tweaking things. So I think 2019 is a great wine and really happy with it. But I think it was more, you got a little bit more of those secondary characteristics early on in that one. So it was a little more almond, more nuttiness and whatnot. And I think the 2020s, a little more fruit forward. We keep that more freshness in it, and you get a little more fruitiness, and it should age a little bit longer. And you'll notice those secondary characteristics coming out with a little bit of age. And so I really like the 19, but it's definitely kind of more of a drink now wine. 2020, I think it's got more, it goes into that window of like drink now, but also it'll be to see where it goes in the future.
Thank you. I appreciate that. All right. Any questions about the Barbera? Any like mind-blowing food pairings that you guys have had with the Barbera besides another bottle of Barbera, which I also love?
I would like to know what Rob is pairing the Barbera with, because it seems like he's got a pretty good spread going on.
Yeah, seriously, look at that. More wine.
Yeah.
I love it. Okay, well, if there's no other questions, we can jump to wine number 3. And I only brought 2 glasses, so I guess I have to drink my Barbera Rough Life. Okay, well, while I drink this, we are gonna jump into our Sagrantino, and I'll let you guys each pour a little bit of the Sagrantino, and I will actually share my screen, and we can talk a little bit about Sagrantino. So I was doing a little bit of research, and Jesse and I were talking about Sagrantino just a little bit before everyone jumped on, and it's really hard to find a lot of information about the variety. You know, it's grown most of the Sagrantino in the world is grown in the Umbria region of Italy. There are a few growers throughout California and Oregon and Washington, but very, very few. And it's a really rare variety. You just really don't have there's not too much research done on Sagrantino. From what I was reading, a lot of times this was made into, and historically it was made into more of a dessert wine. They would dry out the grapes, kind of like a, what is it, Valpolicella type wine. But it's really known for its super, super high tannin. It's definitely the bigger wine, definitely the perfect wine to end this tasting on because it has that high tannin. And just, I mean, I think it's such a unique variety. And while I finish sipping my Barbera, Tom, why don't you jump into the winemaking, and then we can talk a little bit more about the flavor profile.
Well, I've got some terrible news. It just became a more difficult variety to find. The grower who we work with, Brown, the grower Brown down in Tracy Hills, just pulled his Sagrantino out, unfortunately.
Wow.
So yeah, we've got to figure out. I think we're going to hopefully plant some Sagrantino ourselves, which would be really, really fun. But I think we were looking at a bit of a lack of Sagrantino for the next few years. We've got 2020, which we're getting ready to bottle. So grab the Sagrantino while you can. I remember the 2016 was my favorite Sagrantino. It was probably my favorite wine in Jacuzzi at the time. It was just gorgeous and sexy and just rich and easy drinking and just so much great fruit. And opening this 18 Sagrantino right now, I love your pictures, Megan, because I literally get fresh raspberries and cranberry was what I was thinking right before you put that slide up. It just screams those beautiful flavors.
Wait, really quickly, I wish I could take credit for this, but this was all Jesse.
Oh, oh, thank you, Jesse. This like exactly. I was thinking cranberries, and then when I saw the raspberries, I was like, dang, it's really, really fresh raspberries right now. Really, really good. But I don't get too much coffee. We didn't overdo the oak on this one, and we kind of backed off a little bit. And no, just it smells fantastic. And so anyway, so the grower down in Tracy Hills is interesting. It's a special appellation down there. They've got their own AVA. It's a highly mineral deposit area, a lot of gravels down there, and they have good access to water. And so it's bigger vines, a little high yielding, but still makes awesome wine down there. Sagrantino needs a lot of heat. It comes from Umbria, right in the middle of Italy, where there's a lot of heat. And he manages to get it ripe. It's typically one of our last picked varieties. We've picked it at the last week of October, and I think, I mean, geez, actually, I have to check the spreadsheets, but I think this would have been picked the last week of October, if not even in November. So very harvesting, especially in 2018, and comes in normally around 24 to 25, which is perfect for like 14% alcohol. This one's probably the lightest alcohol we've made from 2018, just showing you how cold a vintage it is. It'll be in between 13.5% and 14% alcohol. And just a really, really nice, elegant wine. This wine's definitely got a little more cranberry because of the coolness of it. And we normally do 2 weeks skin contact. We try to beat it up on the start. Around about 10 bricks, about, I don't know, 2/3 of the way through fermentation, we'll back right off on extraction, just to kind of help those tannins soften and become more supple. And also because we're trying not to get any bitter phenolics out of it. We just want to be really careful because of the high tannin content, and also because of the acidity. We just need to be a little bit careful about that. My son wants to come say hi, if that's okay.
Let's say hi.
Yeah.
Max, you want to come say hi? Oh, now he's going to be shy.
Oh.
Can you say hi? Can you wave?
Hey, little guy.
Any more glue on?
He's 3.5, and tell me to stop drinking wine soon. But you dude.
I love it. Pax is the best. Well, I just was able to finally pour some Sagrantino and totally agree, Jesse hit the nail on the head with the tasting notes. I get like muddled raspberry, like in a cocktail or something. I mean, it's delicious. I love that high tone red fruit. I mean, Tom, you know, that's kind of my signature. I love that brightness in a wine, but this wine is really unique because with that brightness, you have the super intense tannin. So I don't know, what would you guys pair with this? I mean, I think.
So also the other thing about 18, I suppose, which is a really interesting note. To get that kind of really high tone fruit, like almost that true translation of a fruit over, you know, how it like really does, you know, when you talk about wine flavors, sometimes it's like those muddled flavors, those wine version of fruit flavors. Whereas this wine's definitely got fresh fruit character as though it was just, you know, like you literally have that raspberry or that cranberry in there.
Yeah.
A true translation. And that'll also because the harvest was so late and 2018 was so cold, the fermentation didn't get as hot as we normally get it. So you get those hot fermentations, which kind of translate and you get more flavor, I guess, metabolism. However, with cold fermentations, you get a better translation of true fruit. So, you know, those kind of being a late harvest, being a really cold harvest helps us really bring those kind of true characters out, which is really, really cool.
Yeah, no, I think it's honestly delicious. But that big tannin, I mean, I think out of all of them, this is probably the one that I would pair with more of like an umami, like steak or something that has a little bit more of the fattiness to like cut through. But I'm kind of torn because it has that high tone that I'm kind of like, I don't know, maybe it would go with something.
I'd go pork. Pork, I like
Pork. Okay, yeah.
like with that fat oil in the end and stuff like that, a good grind of salt and a little bit of pepper. And then like maybe even something like apple or whatnot on the side so you can really highlight all that fruit and kind of bring that sweetness out. I think like a pork chop would go really well, maybe even on the grill. But I mean, I like pork.
You like pork?
What do you think, Jesse?
Well, I mean, going back to like the tasting notes on this, so I literally haven't tried this wine in a year. And it's funny because it's always been one of my favorite wines. So on Saturdays, you know, when I would, you know, before COVID, on Saturdays when we'd work in the tasting room, up in the club room, I would always love pouring Sagrantino for people, especially if it wasn't one that they'd really adventured and tried as often. And I guess a year ago, or when I had it had more of a mocha and nutmeg to it. It's always had the raspberry and cranberry, I think, but now the mocha and nutmeg is definitely softened down, and you definitely get the raspberry on it, a lot of that fruit, but then the tannins. And you know, I'm kind of going with Tom and you and with as far as what to pair it with. I would go with like bacon. Like I just want a really big bacon cheeseburger with it.
That sounds pretty good.
Yeah, that's great. So Tom, with them pulling out the Sagrantino, I mean, that's like, I mean, I know you said you.
It's terrible news. You said no. Yeah.
What?
I'm really disappointed. We'll go look for some more, but like as you mentioned, it's not really out there.
Yeah, I know. So that was my question. It's like, how do we even go about finding someone who has grown Sagrantino? I mean, it's really been, yeah, it's so heartbreaking. It's so heartbreaking for me as well, because I think really like a hallmark and kind of the corner of what we do at Jacuzzi is like, one, help you know, support these farmers who have really cultivated beautiful old, you know, unique grape varieties that you can't find anywhere else, and to have that kind of go away. Didn't you say that they're planting it to Cabernet?
Yeah, Cabernet. Yeah, it's pretty sad actually. It's disappointing, but it's like, you know, it's just kind of how the business is. The business is difficult right now, and you know, it's just how it is. So we'll look for some more Sagrantino. I don't have high hopes. So we've got 18, we skipped 19 vintage, and we've got 2020 coming up as well. So we'll do this again with the 2020, and that is delicious. I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, 2018. Yeah, grab it while you can. We'll be planting some. I'm working with your brother Henry, so the youngest Klein sibling, working with him to come up with a vineyard plan where we're going to be planting. Trying to get as many Italian varietals as we can planted ourselves, so that we can control the supply and we don't have people pulling them out on us. So yeah, fun and yeah,
well,
it's really disappointing.
Yeah, on that tangent though, we did plant some Italian varieties already, correct? And that's really exciting.
So yeah, we've planted already Rodrigo, Nero Diavola. What else have we got in there? We've got
Pulcetto? No.
Dolcetto, yep, we did the Dolcetto, and we also got some Vermentino, which will be new as well. We've never sourced
Vermentino.
again, but hopefully in a couple of years. It only just got planted within the last year, so just kind of a sneak peek on what the potential is coming up. And we just kind of want to take back a little bit of control over our it's great working with these growers and whatnot, but Italian varietals aren't as popular as they could be, and so and we've got the land, so we can plant it. So it's a lot of fun to
Nice.
reset our vineyards, and with a like the first focus will be these Jacuzzi amazing varietals that we get to grow ourselves. So it's kind of an exciting chapter for us.
When I was searching the Sagrantino online, just wanted to get to know it a little bit better, and I was looking for some information for the slide, and literally half the information that you find on Sagrantino is Jacuzzi related. So Tom, you're not going to be able to find any more Sagrantino using Google. I know that. You're just gonna have to drive around in the vineyards.
Yeah, this is exactly what Tom did. He typed in, "Where can I find more Sagrantino?" into Google.
That's all winemakers do it. That's all exactly.
But really quick question before I see we have some questions in the chat. When we plant these new varieties, how long does it take until they can start producing fruit and then we can start making wine?
Yeah, it's like 3 to 5 years. If we've got a good planting and it takes well, and we've got some good seasons with water and no drought issues and stuff like that, we can get our first baby crops off it after 3 years. 4 years, we might actually make a wine, and then 5 years, we're kind of really getting into it. Yeah, so 3 to 5 years, depending on how things go. I mean, with current drought conditions out here in California, it's not great, but we'll survive. But it's not great for propagating strong vines.
Yeah, it's a bummer, but yeah, hopefully eventually down the road we'll have some of our own Tirolgo, Dolcetto, Vermentino, and Nero d'Avola, which is very exciting, and hopefully eventually some Sagrantino as well.
Yeah.
Sagrantino at top of the list actually for the replants. In fact, I think, well, actually the Sagrantino might be earlier. I'm hoping to graft over some other stuff so we can maybe a year or two. So yeah, we've got some ideas. We got some ideas to fast track some stuff. So we want Sagrantino back as fast as possible.
Yeah. Good. So, okay, before I switch gears, does anyone have any questions about the Sagrantino? I just want to get to Pamela's question. She asked if we have any plans to expand our operating hours. Right now, our tasting room is open from Thursday to Sunday. We have high hopes, Pamela, of expanding that. Eventually, we want to be open back to our normal 7 days a week. A lot of it is dependent on the different tiers. We're still in the red tier here in Sonoma. We just got word that we're going to move into the orange tier in 2 weeks. So hoping the next day that we're going to open is going to be Monday. And then from there, we'll open Tuesday and Wednesday. Thank you. All right. And then we got another question from Rob, and he says that they're having some issues getting the new labels in Illinois. And we know all about this problem, and we're so sorry. We are working as hard as we can to get these approved so we can get them out to you. And that is top priority for sure. And Jesse knows all too well.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. It wasn't something that we really planned on, normally you submit all the paperwork 6 months ahead of time and it's fine, but with offices and state government shutting down, it kind of backed everything up. And so and we actually have a company that does all of it for us, and so I'm pretty sure the lady, just the last time I emailed her last week, she was like, "You probably don't need to email me anymore. I'll email you when we get approval."
Yeah.
But I kept checking every week.
Anyway, we are working very hard to get them all approved, and you will definitely be the first to know once we do. Thank you for asking, and we will make sure to get these set everywhere. So yeah, thank you. With that, any other questions? I do want to say, we have open Thursdays, which is really exciting for those of you who are in California and looking, or those of you who are looking to come to visit Wine Country. We are open and expanding our opening hours as much as we can. And we also just started a really great new offering called our aperitivo tasting. And we just added cheese plates. We have a great food program in the works. So, stay tuned for some really exciting stuff coming up. We are really, really looking forward to putting a lot of energy into Jacuzzi. We have a lot of really great ideas, and super excited about the future and opening up a little bit more. So
it really, the last couple weekends, it's felt like the winery has really truly come back to life on the weekends.
Yeah.
We've done our best throughout the last year, but it never quite felt the same. But I can say the last couple weekends, it's really felt like, I don't know, like the hustle and bustle and just everyone having fun. So it really made me happy the last weekend just to see everybody having fun and enjoying it.
Also, if you don't know, I mean, like I really, really like it because now it's also, I mean, it's not great for numbers or whatnot, but it's really great for the experience. It's all sit down tastings. And you've got your own table, you get served wines. It's just it's very luxurious and just feels really nice. And it's in the piazza. It's beautiful, and it's just so much fun to do that. And I've started to do a couple winemaker tastings too, and it's just really, really nice to sit out there. The sun, we've got the tent to protect you from the rain if it's raining, but it's quite a wonderful experience to be sitting out there and enjoying it, and adding a little cheese and stuff like that. It's just a fun experience to be.
And actually, for all of the tastings, regardless, we're doing some local bread and olive oil. A lot of you guys know we have the olive press that's on site, and so we're trying to really create the classic Italian experience where you can just come, hang out, enjoy your bread and olive oil, wine. So we would love to see you, but if not, we are going to continue doing these virtual tastings. I think it's really been a wonderful way to connect with people who aren't in California, who are in New Jersey or Delaware, and who maybe don't get to come out to California all the time. So it's been really great connecting with everyone through these. So we'll definitely continue to do these even throughout, once COVID restrictions have been lifted. So definitely make sure to look out for our next virtual tasting, which will be coming up in, well.
So I have to ask Christine, what kind of pet was that? I mean, I just happened to glance and I was like, that doesn't look like a cat or a dog.
It's not a cat. It's a Kawada Mundi. It's related to the raccoon in South America. It's his birthday. It's his birthday today.
Oh my God!
Yay, happy birthday!
He's 9.
He's 9.
Everyone, what's his name?
Leo.
Okay,
Leo.
Everyone raise a glass to Leo. Happy birthday, Leo.
What did you say it was again? Because I thought it was like an aardvark or something.
It's Kawada Mundi. It's spelled Coatimundi.
Fun. And are you guys like in Florida or something? You got palm trees. Florida, palm trees?
No, Southern Cal.
That's right.
Love it.
Okay.
And thanks for doing these virtual tastings. We can't get up there very often either. So we love to be able to learn about the new wines virtually as well. It's awesome.
Yeah, no, we have so much fun doing it too. It's always the favorite part of my month for sure. So, I mean, Wednesday evening, just drinking wine with all of you. It's great.
Oh my gosh!
Oh my God, wait, we have another pet. Oh my God!
Yeah, look at this is my sister Mariah. She's got this crazy looking bunny.
That is a wild looking bunny. I love it. What's the bunny's name?
Awesome.
Her name is Cotton.
Oh,
and my girls are obsessed with her.
so cute.
They like to make her dance. They go like this. They go choo 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 choo.
I love it. That's amazing. Any other crazy pets out there? Oh man. Well, thank you guys so much. We'll be sending out an email with the next virtual tasting for April.
April's tomorrow. I know it's
April's tomorrow. So, make sure to sign up for that, and we hope to see you virtually, if not in person, and have a wonderful rest of your Wednesday evening. Thank you all for being here. Cheers.
Thanks,
Cheers.
everybody.
Thank you.
Cheers.
And feel free to
Cheers.
ask questions and ping us at the winery, or if you've got anything else you want to know. So yeah.
Yeah.
We were at Jacuzzi for the first time in November, just before everything got shut down again. And it was
Oh.
one of our best
Yeah.
experiences that weekend. And we joined right there. So
Oh my God, thank you so
And then
much, Christine.
I think we just spent about $250 on a new olive oil delivery. So
Oh, nice.
Honestly, the olive press,
Yes.
I love the olive press. I mean, I use that olive oil on everything. On my
everything,
popcorn.
yeah.
It's so good. The jalapeno is my favorite. I love
You used
to-
it the other day. Yeah.
Yeah, I love heating up tortillas with it. It's like my
Really? That's
ultimate
good.
secret sauce for good Mexican food.
We did a lobster
Great.
ravioli, and all we did was toss it in that lemon olive oil and put some Parmesan on it.
Oh
was
my
great.
God,
Perfect.
that sounds delicious. Oh my God. Okay. Oh yeah, and I think something that we started doing for the Klein virtual tastings, people asked like, oh, can you send out recommendations for pairings beforehand? So I want to hopefully do that with the Jacuzzi virtuals as well, because I think it helps for people to plan,
Yeah.
if you want to like cook something fun or get
Mhm.
a good cheese to pair for the night. So look out for that for next
Okay.
time.
We realized we accidentally drank the Gilead before today.
Oh, hey, what'd you think?
It
It
was
was
good.
awesome.
Oh, good.
Like, oh crap, I think we drank that on Sunday.
I
was
love it.
great.
Oh,
Oh, Rob, that's a good idea, doing an olive oil and wine tasting together.
Oh,
that
wow.
is a great idea.
That is a
No,
great
that would be
idea.
fun. We should try and put that together. I know the Olive Press is doing their own like virtual tastings, but doing something combined because I mean, you need the wine, I think.
Yeah. I just want to say hi to everybody again. It's so much fun just clicking on everybody and putting a name to the face. Like Robert Bambino. Hi guys, good to see you.
Thank you. This is Laurel. Jesse.
Oh, and Laurel, she
Yeah.
has a fun pet. Laurel has
I
what is it?
do. I have a chinchilla.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if you want me to go get him, but I'm
Great pet.
not on audio right now.
Oh, it's okay.
I'm not on video right now. I mean,
Yeah, it's okay. This
next
is fun to-
time. But that was wonderful, you guys.
Very nice.
I was drinking this favorite wine that I got my last order that Jesse recommended, and it was the one that you recommended, Jesse. I forget the name of it right now, but
was it one with the bow on it that I put the bow on, or no?
well, I already drank that one.
Oh.
It was
There's a
one
lot
of
of that going on.
it was one of the dessert ones, I think. It was
Oh
this,
yeah, the skinny bottle one.
yeah, the skinny
I knew you'd
bottle.
like that one.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Pamela
But-
says you've been doing virtual cooking with wineries, recipes sent out in advance. That's such a great idea.
Oh no, I'm not getting in the kitchen. Well,
Well, yeah, Jesse, you're the chef, right?
yeah, but like I don't know. I cut myself just.
Okay, Tom, you were talking
Tom,
about grilling up pork chops and a
Yeah,
little
pork
apple
chop.
on the side.
Well,
Top-
I actually just wrote my first cookbook at the end of last year, and I really like it. It's really good. So no, I like cooking and stuff. I can come up with some ideas if you really want me to. But we've got great chefs on staff. Well,
For sure.
we use Shirley, which is fantastic. And no, I mean, like I love cooking and I love wine and stuff like that. I'm not a super stickler for matching the food with the wine. I like to do that. But if I want to drink a wine, I want to eat some food, I'll do that too.
Yeah, tell us the name of the cookbook you got.
Oh, it's Gordon Ramsay Cooking at Home, and it's like,
Okay.
yeah,
Nice.
well,
I
it's
love
like
that guy.
he just started like the preamble is basically like there's a lot of cookbooks that like are trying to make you have Michelin rated meals, and this isn't this cookbook. And like, I mean, I can make the meals in an hour and a half quite easily, and it's delicious, generally speaking. Last night, well, and it's fun and genuinely pick them right. They're fairly healthy. I still haven't got around to what I really want to make. I love a beef Wellington, and I think the Nerity Evla with a beef Wellington would be
Oh,
Okay,
Mm.
perfect. I think that's I think we have our new virtual cooking class.
a lot
there
of
we go.
big commitment.
Yeah.
No, has anyone done the master class? I haven't done the Gordon Ramsay master class because I used to love Hell's Kitchen and he scares me. But
Oh, yeah.
there's Japanese, what's her name? Oh my god.
Oh, the chef there that we like.
Oh god,
great-
Allison, Alice Waters. Thank you. My sister just. Alice Waters, she is on masterclass and she's really great. And so recommended. If
You like the masterclass?
yeah, I do. I
What
really
have
like
you done so far?
I did the interior design. I've done some of the Alice Waters. I have done I did the Geary one, the Frank Geary one. There's so many great ones. They just added a dog training class, which I think I might need to take on because Willa can
Oh.
We could get Tom on there for winemaking.
Yeah,
Perfect.
dude, I'd love to.
Love it. Perfect.
I've already kind of had that opening spiel where it's like, you know, they've just got those really artsy opening spiels where they sell it to you. I feel like I've got my one nailed down already.
Oh, you've been practicing. I love it. Great. Well, you guys have a wonderful rest of your Wednesday, and thank you all for joining us. This is really so much fun.
Thank you.
See you next
Thank
week.
you.
Hey, guys.
Thank
Cheers.
you.
Cheers.
Cheers. Bye, you guys.
Cheers.
See you next time.
Bye.